Deep within the pages of the ancient manuscripts of Ibn Asakir and Al-Tabari lies a legend about the most powerful ruler of antiquity, Dhul-Qarnayn. But this is not merely a story about his conquests. It is the story of his greatest pursuit, the quest for eternity. The records of Hafiz ibn Asakir reveal that Dhul-Qarnayn was not alone in his thoughts. Beside him stood the angel Raphael, his close friend from the heavenly spheres. On one occasion, the ruler opened his soul to him, confessing a burning desire for longevity. His motive was not a greed for power, but a longing to worship his Lord for as long as possible through the centuries to come. Raphael then revealed to him a secret that does not belong to human knowledge. He spoke of a spring that Allah hides, the water of life. Whoever tasted that water would become immune to death until they themselves requested their departure from this world. The angel conveyed the belief of celestial beings regarding the existence of a dark land where no human foot has ever trodden, nor do the jinn know it. There, in the heart of eternal darkness, it was presumed the spring lay. Dhul-Qarnayn summoned all the scholars on earth. He wanted to know what they know about it.
I have gathered you here to tell me what you know about the land of darkness.
Finally, one of them stepped forward.
O ruler, I have read in the testament of Adam that such a land exists, and that it is located at the horn of the sun.
The Quran states that Dhul-Qarnayn reached the place where the sun sets and found it setting in a murky or boiling spring. There, Dhul-Qarnayn found a people completely at his mercy. He possessed the power to become a tyrant, yet he chose to be a just ruler. He established a clear boundary, severity towards those who spread corruption and protection for those who do good. The ultimate truth regarding the details of this expedition lies with Allah. What is very intriguing and worth mentioning is this: Dhul-Qarnayn undoubtedly reached the edge of the west, but interestingly, across the ocean, Mayans and Aztecs remember Kukulkan, a bearded traveler whose headdress forms the shape of two horns. Could two civilizations, separated by oceans, remember the same man? He was remembered not as a tyrant, but as a teacher. He gave them the calendar, laws to end bloodshed, and the skill to build cities that still defy the ages. He explicitly forbade human sacrifice, teaching that the divine demands purity rather than blood, much like Dhul-Qarnayn, described as the one given the knowledge and means for everything. But where did this mysterious teacher come from? He was not one of them. Aztec and Mayan legends agree. He came from afar, from across the great water, from the direction of the rising sun. They called him a stranger from Tlapalan, the land of wisdom. He was different, tall, fair-skinned, and long-bearded, in a world where men had no beards. He arrived on what they described as a raft of serpents, bringing a word of peace to a land of war. And as we gaze into the faces of ancient figures from the other side of the world, we are left only to wonder. The truth is hidden in time, and Allah knows best. There are different opinions among the Mufassirs. Some claim that Dhul-Qarnayn met this people before entering the land of darkness, and some consider that he met the people after he traveled through the land of darkness. In the tafsirs and historical traditions of Ibn Asakir and Al-Tabari, this west is identified as the edge of the world where light ends and the land of darkness, Zulumat, begins. Here, on the border of the known world in that mysterious darkness, he sought the spring of life. He chose 6,000 horsemen and entered the darkness. Traditions say he ordered the riders to mount exclusively on young white mares. The reason was biological. It was believed that female horses possess a keener sense of smell and better intuition to find their way back to the starting point, while the white color allowed the riders to at least see the horse in front of them. Also, they used glowing stones, or a type of phosphorus mineral which they threw ahead of them to mark the path. As they marched through the opaque darkness, they heard a crunching under their feet, sounding like ordinary stones. Zulkarnayn then told the army,
"He who takes these stones will regret it, and he who takes them not will regret it too."
The people were confused. Some filled their pockets, while others passed by empty-handed. Al-Khidr was also with Dhul-Qarnayn. Historians such as Al-Tabari and Ibn Asakir record that he was not merely a companion, but Dhul-Qarnayn's vizier and advisor, and according to some traditions, even his relative or the son of his maternal aunt. While Dhul-Qarnayn ruled the physical world, Al-Khidr possessed ilm al-batin, the knowledge of the hidden. For this reason, he was placed at the head of the vanguard. He was the only one who possessed the inner light necessary to find the way. As Al-Khidr walked, a valley suddenly appeared before him. He stopped his escort, moved forward, and found himself at the edge of the spring. The water was whiter than milk and sweeter than honey. Al-Khidr drank, performed ablution, and bathed, and then returned. Zulkarnayn had taken a different path and missed the spring. Wandering further, Zulkarnayn arrived at a sort of heart of darkness, a castle standing in the middle of nowhere. Inside, he did not find a ruler, but a huge black bird, a guardian listening to the pulse of the world. The bird began to question him about the state of the earth. It asked if tall buildings were being built and if people were indulging in sins. At every answer, indicating the rise of worldliness and injustice, the bird would swell and become terrifyingly large, threatening to explode with rage. But when Dhul-Qarnayn mentioned that La ilaha illallah was still heard, and that there were those who did good, the bird would calm down and shrink. It was a living scale of humanity's state before the day of judgment. Then, from the shadows of that same castle, an angel stepped forward, the one holding the horn, and handed Dhul-Qarnayn a simple stone as a parting gift and a final lesson. He told him, "Weigh this." Dhul-Qarnayn placed the stone on one side of a scale, and on the other all his gold and jewels, but the stone remained heavier. Whatever he added, the stone outweighed it. The ruler was astonished until the angel took a handful of ordinary soil and sprinkled it over the stone. Instantly, the stone became lighter than a feather. The angel then told him the truth that struck him harder than any weapon. This stone is the human eye. Nothing can satisfy it. No treasure of this world. Only the dust of the grave will satisfy and silence it. When they finally emerged from the darkness into the light of day, the army reached for the pebbles they had picked up in the dark. Only then did they see that they were not ordinary pebbles, but the most valuable jewels in the world. In that instant, everyone remembered the ruler's words. Those who took some regretted not taking more, and those who took nothing regretted ignoring them. After the darkness, Dhul-Qarnayn headed east. The Quran in Surah Al-Kahf describes, "Until, when he came to the rising of the sun, he found it rising on a people for whom we had not made against it any shield." Here it is said that he reached the place where the sun rises and found a people who had no shelter from the sun. They lived in primitive conditions, and Dhul-Qarnayn established order and justice there, as Allah had taught him. Sayyid Ibn Jubayr says, "They were red and short, dwelling in caves and eating fish," while Qatada says they were black. The land they lived on was such that it could not support the construction of solid structures, quicksand, or treeless plains. As soon as the sun rose, they would flee into the water or underground shelters until the intense heat passed. But there is a darker secret about this place. Ancient scriptures say these people did not flee underground just because of the heat, but because of the sound. On that edge of the world, the sunrise was not silent. It was accompanied by a terrifying noise, like a celestial grinding or thunder, so loud it would kill anyone who heard it in the open. Dhul-Qarnayn witnessed a scene where an entire nation vanished into the depths of the earth, hiding not just from the light, but from the deadly roar of the heavens. After the east, he continued his journey until he reached a region between two mountains. We cannot say with certainty even today where this place might be. Some say they are the mountains of the Caucasus or Asia, and Allah knows best. There, he met a people who could barely understand any speech. They complained to him about the people of Gog and Magog, Yajuj and Majuj, who were spreading corruption on earth and terrorizing them. It is stated that there were three types, some who were as tall as palm trees, others who were as wide as they were tall, and a third kind who had ears so large that they would lie on one and cover themselves with the other while sleeping. This detail, though fantastic, emphasizes why that nation was in such fear and why they needed Dhul-Qarnayn's help. Some traditions state that they are so voracious they will eat everything in front of them. There is a tradition that says none of them die until they see 1,000 of their male offspring, which explains their population explosion that is beyond human comprehension. Regarding Yajuj and Majuj, Allah states in the Quran, until when he reached a pass between two mountains, he found beside them a people who could hardly understand speech.
Indeed, Yajuj and Majuj are great corruptors in the land. So may we assign for you an expenditure that you might make between us and them a barrier?
That in which my Lord has established me is better, but assist me with strength. I will make between you and them a dam.
And Dhul-Qarnayn began to build a wall between them.
Bring me sheets of iron!
Until when he had filled up the gap between the two mountains, he said,
Blow with bellows!
And when he had made it like fire, he said,
Bring me molten copper to pour over it!
And so the enemies could neither scale nor tunnel through it.
This is a mercy from my Lord. But when the promise of my Lord comes to pass, he will level it to the ground.
And my Lord's promise is ever true.
On that day, we will let them surge like waves over one another. Later, the trumpet will be blown, and we will gather all people together. On that day, we will display hell clearly for the disbelievers, those who turned a blind eye to my reminder and could not stand listening to it. Quran, Surah Al-Kahf, the Kahf.